Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some more of the GeorgeNotFound drama that we were talking about yesterday. He came out with a admittedly pretty good response video, and like I said yesterday, man, I kind of knew he was about to cook. And this whole thing now, kind of given the whole perspective of George himself, makes a little bit more sense. And to be completely honest, I'm kind of glad that George took his time to gather all the evidence that he needed, because his side of the story starts to make more sense when you start to put things into perspective. But for those of you who haven't seen the 25-minute video, essentially George met Katie 2 times. Both times I believe were after a convention, and they were in Dream's hotel room that wasn't actually the size of a hotel room that you normally would have. It was a bit bigger than just a bed in a room. He then goes on to show through text messages that Katie did want to be there along with her friends that were asking to come along and see what was going on in Dream's room. There was alcohol involved, but things understandably got confusing for George when it came down to the matter of age. Apparently people on Twitter were saying that he knew that she was 18 or something like that, and even though that's a legal age, it's not a legal drinking age. At least it's not for the US or I believe the UK. Even George doesn't even know how they got the over 21 wristband that's presented in the screenshot right here. Anyways, the point of the small get-together was kind of to celebrate the end of the convention. Apparently there's a lot of stress that goes into it because there's a lot of things to do, and they did a celebration again for the second night. And the second night was actually where the touching started. But according to George, this is only after an hour of them cuddling or so, and he was trying to make sure that she was okay with it the whole time. And I guess the way that Katie Bugs originally phrased the whole situation made it seem that George came onto her much faster than what actually happened, or at least what happened according to George. And actually, this is him detailing that part from his perspective right now.
Where I felt him slip his hand under my clothes, sitting next to me on the couch, in front of everyone. He disguised it with a simple, "Are you ticklish?" I coughed out a no, and still staring at my phone, I was overly aware of the fact that we were in front of other people. The fact that everyone else was sitting around us, watching us, including my best friend, and that his hand was inching further to places I hadn't asked it to be. Again, as I mentioned before, we had previously been cuddling on this couch for around an hour, but I did place my hand on her waist under her shirt. The way it's phrased makes it sound like it just happened out of nowhere, when in reality we had been cuddling for over an hour at this point, and it was not out of nowhere. It was also around half an hour until I started moving my hand further up, and the way it's phrased just makes it seem like it happened pretty instantly and pretty quickly. There was nothing quick about it, it was very slow, and I was very cautious about it and making sure that she was comfortable throughout the process. Me and Katie were very touchy, very cuddly, and very slowly got more intimate. I've always been overly cautious with consent, and this is not just because I'm a creator. I've been like this since before I was a creator, and I think that's just the way I am and just the way it should be. Nothing came out of nowhere. Everything progressed very slowly throughout the night. And also, before I continue, I want to make it clear that the furthest anything ever got was under the shirt touching and cuddling. Now, obviously, people don't typically ask if everything is okay, even such as touching someone's waist under their shirt before they do it. But in this case, I was extremely slow, and she was engaging with me the entire time, laughing, cuddling with me, and even playfully fighting me for the game that we were playing.
And according to George's side of the story, after that whole thing happened, Katie's friends apparently left, and she stayed behind for multiple hours after that. And the whole group eventually called it a quits after Dream wanted to go to sleep. And at that point, Katie Bugs would then walk George to the elevator. And I believe I remember George saying that he wanted it to go further than that, but Katie wasn't going for it, so he just went down to his room and that was that. There was also some Instagram DMs between the two that were dated to be after the event, and actually August of 2023 was the last time that he talked to her. This was like the barest of bare bones summarization of what actually happened. If you want to go watch George's video, which I highly recommend that you do, it's up on his second channel, George is Live. But I'll say this though, right? If Wilbur's suit can even deliver half as good as a response as this, then we put this entire thing to bed. I don't know if he ever will, but hopefully George's response will inspire him to do so. But I guess the longer we wait, the less of a chance there is at a response. So as for the Wilbur suit drama, I'm still not leaning on his side or Shelby's side or Alice's side. Still trying to be impartial, waiting for more evidence to come out. But as for George, I'm gonna lean more towards his side. If Katie Bugs has another rebuttal to that, let's get some more evidence and build more of a case. And finally, I'll agree with George's last statement. Yeah, you should support victims. People who are actually victims though, not people who come out of the woodworks and just start lying on another creator, especially with no evidence, especially when you're reading off of a script, and especially when you're lying about your age potentially. Also, you staying after your friends already left for multiple hours doesn't really help either. And then you walked him down to the elevator and then continued to text him all the way until August of last year. Instead of actually saying, no, stop, don't touch me, you kept going along with it. And instead of going to the police right after. You wait almost an entire year to actually just accuse somebody with no evidence. Now look, I'll wait for more evidence to come out before I make my final verdict, but as of right now, I am leaning more towards George's side. I said this before and I'll say it again. One of the things that is wrong with believing victims just automatically, or anybody who says that they are a victim, is the fact that they could be lying. This goes for men and women. Unless you have definitive proof and evidence that you were abused or that you were assaulted in any way, it's gonna be a he said, she said argument until some evidence actually comes out. And look, I've said in the past that the Minecraft community has definitely got its weirdos. You know, you got Lion Maker, you got a bunch of different weirdos in the community. And here's the thing though, like when you accuse somebody of this, right, especially a content creator, this could ruin their entire career. And to do so without actual screenshots on your end to back up what you're saying is absurd. It's crazy. And the fact that people actually just believe quote unquote victims right off the bat without any evidence as soon as they tell them something is insane. Like, I mean, I understand being impartial about a situation like this, but let's say the victim that you were supporting was actually lying about this because it's happened before. Then what? Now you're participating in a smear campaign against somebody who is undeserving, and you could have potentially been the reason that they don't have a career anymore, that their life is ruined, all because your friend lied, or all because the person that you're supporting lied. I mean, best case scenario, the person that you're accusing comes up with a blemish on their record, and they're able to bounce back. But worst case scenario, people have been known to off themselves just because of a false accusation. So just remember, accusing somebody of something as serious as SA or grape comes with a lot of shit, bro. And if you're ready to accuse somebody yourself, or if you're ready to support somebody doing the accusing, you better make sure that you have damn good evidence. And you know, I'd like to cap off that sentence by saying it wouldn't amount to anything if you didn't have evidence, but as I just mentioned, people will still believe you if you have it or not. Fucking insane. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Sub up, stay safe, and peace.